Arriba!
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Reyes, and this is Tinseltown Tonight. Will we or won't we? That's the question.
Ooh.
Tonight, Tonight I have with me the Dudes of Disruption,
Dude.
live from New York.
Dude.
I've got three dudes and a dudette. So welcome to the show. It's going to be wild because I don't have my anything. This is just wild here.
You don't have anything? You don't have anything?
I don't have my computer. I've turned it off. I closed it down. I don't have my mixer. I've got my equipment over here. It's totally unplugged. And I'm just going like
You're going rogue. You're going rogue tonight.
I'm rogue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dude.
I was going to say commando, but I don't know if that would be appropriate.
Yeah, no, I'm not commando. I had to check. You never know. But anyway, welcome Tommy, Gregory, and Nick to Tinseltown tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to introduce you to everybody. And let's start with Greg, because I know the least about you. So tell me about yourself, Greg. Do you like Gregory or Greg?
I like Gregory.
Gregory. Okay, Gregory,
yes.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I am one of the dudes of disruption, and I just moved to Harlem, and I am excited about that. I've always had a love for Harlem, so I'm happy to be here. I'm a radio and real estate entrepreneur, so I'm on the radio with the dudes. I also have a show down in Philly. And I recently started a real estate company with two friends of mine.
Ooh.
Yes.
Neat. All right.
Yes.
And you own multiple properties? Is that
Yes,
true?
both. Yeah, both personally and then also related to my real estate company also.
Oh, fantastic. And how long have you been doing the Dudes of Disruption podcast and radio show?
We've been doing the live show and podcast since March of last year.
Okay. So we have an anniversary coming up.
Oh,
yeah, March 31st was the first night that we went on the air as the Dudes of Disruption, a live show.
Wow. March 31st. Now that's, okay, so that's just before I started on Blab. That Meerkat and Blab was Memorial Day, so that's May. So it'll be a year for me in May, but it's been about a year and a half that I've been doing my weekly show. But I just started in different platforms. Like you guys have jumped around different platforms in different places.
We have, but actually until you just asked that question, it just hit me that because it's February, next month is our year anniversary.
We have to plan something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You should have a party online.
Yes.
For sure. You start planning your anniversary show.
You are quite right, actually. And we had some show ideas tonight that Nick and Tom and I talked about, and I think one of them actually would play well for an anniversary show, kind of like a questions from the audience and from each other, just unscripted, just to celebrate that we've been together on this journey for a year now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Now, if we
That's
do that
a great
on
idea.
Blab, we can get people to jump
do
in
it on
and
Blab. Hopefully in a month, Blab will be much better. I know they're trying to roll out some pretty high-tech stuff, so that could be part of the problem. But so, Gregory.
Yes, and I can tell you why I like to go by Gregory too.
Okay.
So I am adopted, and I was in foster care for a couple years before that, and the name that was given to me by my birth parents is actually Gregory. And a lot of people like to shorten names and things like that, but my name Gregory is special to me. Because it's a part of my journey, my story.
That's so important. That's awesome. And, that was your given name, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we call him the point guard.
Like
yes.
We got to get to the nicknames and why they are, and why are nicknames important, and who approves the nicknames? That's my question after our little conversation.
Well,
earlier.
There's been a little bit of controversy around the approval of the nicknames lately. That's for sure. Gregory's his nickname has been changing.
Okay, Mr. Fame.
nicknames kind of sometimes adopt us, whether we like it or not, and they just become what we're being called. I like to
You
be
tell
called
them,
Liz.
Melissa. Tell them that we have the final say.
Those who give the name usually has the final say.
Right?
I have to
Pick
say.
your childhood nickname. What was your childhood nickname, Gregory? Did you have one?
G Money, which then got changed to G Euro.
He always has these cool nicknames. G Money, G
It's
Euro.
all
What
about
about
the
you,
money.
Wait,
Where's the money? Show me the money.
Euro, you said?
Yeah, I didn't pick either one of those. But there's a reason why G Euro. My friends are a bit too witty sometimes, where literally during the financial crisis, which is such a crazy story, but they were yelling, going, "Hey, Gregory, you're good money," like G Money. And then somebody said, "But you're better than the dollar." And it was like a very sarcastic, intelligent, joking conversation. And then they're like, someone goes G dollar, someone goes G yen, and they're like, G yen sounds terrible. Someone goes G peso, and then literally someone yells out G euro, and then my friend goes Euro. We kind of like that. And then literally my nickname transitioned to G Euro from G Money because of that back in 2008, and that was that.
Nice. And it looks like Melissa dropped out, right?
Yes,
Did we lose her? Okay.
I think so.
G Euro. It's good.
And for those who think it's about money, it's actually because growing up, the left-handed jump shot was good money. So it was a basketball generated nickname.
G Ruble.
The jump shot was pretty good too.
That's good. Hey, I have no doubt. You are the most athletic of the dudes, that's for sure. What was your?
I don't know. Nick is the best defensive point guard ever.
Ever.
Really?
Actually, I don't know if Greg wants to take me on one-on-one.
I mean, I'm going to shoot jump shots. I'll pull up from 25.
I'll be the ref.
25 feet.
Can we have a charity basketball game and I'll be the ref of you two?
Charity basketball game. We could play a game of horse. We can do. We can have some fun.
I like that's a good idea, Tommy. That could be our 1-year anniversary.
We could do something like that. We have to do something big for
The greatest defensive point guard against G Euro.
Going to raise a little money for charity.
Exactly.
Yep.
What was your childhood nickname, Nick? Nickname. Interesting.
I had a lot actually. My nickname when I was a kid was Nickel first. Oh, thank you. Nicky Pop, Papa D.
You're still talking about nicknames. You guys are awesome.
No one's listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was.
Yes, Nicky Pop.
Nicky Pop. Pop.
Nicky Pop, Papa D.
Mr.
Good News.
Results.
Mr. Good News.
Good news. What's the good news?
I'm always delivering good news. I am the delivery man for news. Good news.
The good news.
I'm the
I like
good.
that.
I'm the good news delivery man.
I like that. So, Greg.
I'm better. Sorry, Melissa. I'm better than the good humor man.
The good humor man. That's kind of creepy. Gregory, would you introduce Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, Gregory. As the greatest point guard, please.
Oh.
Everyone who's watching, let me introduce to you Nicholas, Mr. Good News, Coach Nick, a.k.a. Nicky Pop Papadopoulos, who is at first a good dude. And before we go into like all the things he does, his thing is really to help others and help them unleash their heart. And I know firsthand about that because I know he's helped me do that over the years. And so it's awesome to call him a friend, a brother, a co-host, and a partner, and so many more things that we all get to create together. In terms of like what he does things like executive coach, inspirational speaker, also helps co-lead a men's group through Due to Disruption. Obviously, he's an on-air personality. And he also is from Queens. And this is where it gets a little dicey.
You better stop now.
Is that somehow
He's going there.
he couldn't find Flushing and the New York Metropolitans and somehow ended up a Yankees fan, which is the only thing that I always kind of like, But otherwise, he's a great dude.
Okay. Thank
Other than his
for
sports
that
affiliations.
introduction. And now, welcome, Nick. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Ooh. Well, I am born and raised in Queens. I've authored a book called Coach Nick's Championship Selling Quick Guide Book. I started in business as in sales, became an executive, and then went into consulting, doing executive coaching like Gregory was sharing, leadership development, culture transformation, and culture strategy work at companies, on the air radio. I've run 3 men's groups, this being the third with Tommy and Gregory. What else can I say about me? I've got two young boys. Hold on. I gotta move. Hold on.
Girlfriend doesn't want to hear him talking about himself.
Hold on. I'm in the dark here.
Oh, you guys are so great. This is fun. You have a great dynamic. We're gonna have to talk about that. I'm so jealous. I'm healthily envious. I think what you have going is really great, and I'm happy for you.
Oh, thank
Cool.
you.
What else is
Thank
there,
you.
Nick? What else should we know about you? What would you like? What is there anything the dudes don't know about you?
Ooh.
They know it all.
Oh, she must have heard our conversation before this, planning our next show.
Is there anything they don't know about me? They definitely don't know, because I was telling girlfriend, who's hovering over me right now. I don't think the dudes know that I lived in Vermont for 1 year.
Feel the burn.
Yes.
I'm cold with my jacket just thinking of her.
Listen, the dudes did not know until last week that I was the greatest defensive point guard ever.
Oh, that's why we're calling the point guard.
And we still don't know
I have no idea
about
what
that.
Self-proclaimed, apparently.
I got a little nervous when you all said that you were
Sure.
very into sports. I'm like, oh no.
This girlfriend.
My reaction
Hi,
completely.
girlfriend.
Hey, girlfriend.
Hi. How are you?
What else don't you guys know?
Kisses for girlfriend.
Oh, hugs and kisses for girlfriend. Okay, cool. What else don't you guys know? I know they know a lot of dirt at this point.
Well, that was a good thing. So Vermont, what's the story behind that?
I needed to get out of New York really, really fast. My father, actually, it's funny. Actually, that. So when my parents are Greek immigrants, and Vermont was definitely not on their list of places to visit. What's that? All right, let me finish my story, girlfriend. Girlfriend's interrupting. Look at this. So my parents come up to Vermont, and I'm driving them from the bus station to my apartment, and we're driving up 91 North. And if you're familiar with that area at all, it's pitch black. There's like no sign of life anywhere. And my father turns to me and he like grabs my hand and he goes, "Who are you hiding from? We'll help you." Like, all serious. He was dead serious. He thought I was hiding from people. I went to Vermont because for 2 reasons. One, I went into fundraising for a year, and I was fundraising for a private prep school, very much like Dead Poet Society, that kind of school.
I work at a school like that.
Do you? Okay, so I did fundraising for a year, and the second is I had been born, raised in New York City. Even though I went to NYU and I lived on campus, I was still in New York, and really I was in my early 20s, and I just wanted to get out also. So it was sort of a combination of the two. And it was absolutely what I needed at that time. It really gave me an opportunity to find my voice, find myself, actually even get related to my heritage in a much, much different way, and appreciate it in a way I never had appreciated it before. Because now I was doing it on my terms, for my reasons.
Wow, I could go deep into that one.
Oh yeah. Hold on, I'll go back on the couch.
I'm partly Greek. I'm part because the name Melissa is Greek. But
Melissa's Greek,
yeah,
really?
it is. It
I'm
means
surprised the Greeks
baby.
haven't staked claim to that name already. Come on.
Settled. That's racist, Tommy.
What?
That's
We're all
racist.
Greek. We're all Greek.
Right, Melissa? Everybody's Greek. Oh, but actually, you know what? I just saw a preview for my Big Fat Greek Wedding
I know,
Part
it
2.
looks great. Everybody still looks really good. I can't wait to see that. It's one of my favorite movies. So, but I know a little bit more about Greece than what you would learn in that movie. But anyhow, so I think that's really cool. I have a lot of stories about Vermont, but they are all my brother's stories. I've actually never been there, so I'm not going to tell those. He could tell those to you someday. You'll have to meet my brother. So,
Okay.
Nick, would you introduce Tommy?
Sure. Tommy Spiro. He is the father of a beautiful, talented, kind daughter, married for 16 plus years.
Yeah.
Is that right? 16?
Yeah.
Tommy, like myself, is born and raised in the greatest county in this country, Queens. Just saying, Run DMC. I've said this before. Run DMC is from Queens. Christopher Walken. The list goes on.
Bernie
the list
Madoff.
goes on. Right, there you go.
No, I don't know.
Who?
Bernie Madoff.
Oh, actually, hold on. Donald Trump. Donald Trump is from Queens.
Nice.
The Trumpster. Tommy.
We will.
Let's not, please.
Yeah, Bush.
Tommy is, well, he's the author of Messages in the Music, and available on Amazon, by the way. Tommy's an interesting cat because he's a combination of, he's creative, and inside of that creativity, he touches technology, music, words, photography, humor. I mean, he's really multi-talented, and I really believe that when Tommy joined our show, because a little sidebar, Tommy was not part of the original Dudes. It was really originally it was just Gregory and I, and then Tommy whined a bit about wanting to join the Dudes. And
okay, that's fair.
But Tommy, this is going to sound like what's that Tom Cruise movie? Tommy Completes Us. What was that movie? Jerry Maguire.
You know, tear.
I'm like risky business.
Tommy completes us. No, Tommy is Tommy just completes us. I mean, he provides the energy and the humor and the creativity, keeps the flow going. He provides exactly what's needed, and I really believe our show would be very, very different if he was not part of it. What else can I say about Tommy? I think one of the things I love most about Tommy is his commitment to his family. I think especially in today's world where I think money and career and image often, not always, but often takes precedent for a lot of people. Tommy's number 1, 2, and 3 priority is his wife, his daughter, and I also say, and I would also extend beyond that because I think Tommy treats everybody like family. It's why he's literally got the busiest social calendar I've ever seen in my life, and because I really think he treats everybody like they're his own.
Wow, Tommy Spiro.
Wow, that's very nice.
Introduction.
This is your life.
Thank you.
That's some introduction. So,
yes.
Tommy, do you want to tell us anything about yourself that Nick didn't share already?
What Nick forgot to share with you all is that I am a badass. Is what Nick forgot to share. Yes.
Right. Are you?
Yes.
You got to join
And
the
that
League
name
of
was given to me
Badasses.
by the two gentlemen that you see on the screen here because I refuse to acknowledge that for quite some time. But I am embracing that in 2016. So as Nick mentioned, I'm an author. I'm also a graphic designer. That's like my core trade. I've had a design company for about 10 years now, 10, 12 years. We do graphic design and web design. It's primarily me. I'm a solopreneur in that space, and also do some public speaking on social media and marketing. I've been on a nationally syndicated television show on Science Channel talking about marketing and stuff, which was a wonderful experience, and I aspire to do that again this year. So
Oh, good.
yeah, lots of different things going on, and the Dudes of Disruption is a big part of my life, and it's been an amazing experience. I can't believe it's been a year that we are at this thing. So we have to plan something to celebrate. I think it's important to acknowledge our accomplishments. You know, oftentimes I don't think we do. I'm certainly guilty of not doing enough of that. So we need to make a splash for our 1 year anniversary with the Dudes.
Definitely.
And Tommy, sorry, Melissa, Tommy designed Girlfriend's website. Right. He mentioned he's a graphic designer and did an outstanding. So anyone who's looking for transforming their website and their look and feel and who they be, Tommy, be the man.
Oh, I'd love to see it. What's the website? Speaking of websites, I just popped mine in there because if anybody's watching and wants to read a little bit and see pictures of dudes, I have an article up on MsWillis.com on the landing page, so you can see a little bit about their bios and how to connect with them.
Nice write-up, by the way, Melissa. You wrote a very nice
thank you.
On us.
Well, thank you. Thank you guys for providing all the awesome information, and I'm hoping to do a follow-up because there's so many things I'd like to ask you about, and I know we won't get to all of it here, but it'll be fun to try. So, and I have no idea what time it is because since I'm on my phone and this blab thing takes my whole screen, I can't tell, and I don't believe in clocks or watches, so I'm scared. We'll just keep going until you guys get tired of me, okay? Or we get booted off, whatever happens first.
Seems to be doing okay, right?
Yeah, it seems to be doing really well. I'm really happy that I went to the phone for me. That was just so frustrating. But you guys look great and sound great. And I want to take a moment just to thank everybody that's here. And if it's, I noticed that we have Bruno Real DL. I don't know who that is. That's a new person to me. And Candy here from Tokyo, which is pretty cool, and Herbie, and there's a number of people in here that I recognize, and Bobby. So if you have questions for the dudes, if you have questions for me, please pop them in to the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. And Tommy was just telling us, and Nancy's here. Hi, Nancy.
Cool.
Tommy was just telling us a little bit about himself, and then because we went all the way around the room, I'm hoping that you'll introduce or tell us a little bit about Gregory, and then
sure.
or me.
Absolutely.
That would be kind of weird. But
Gregory talked about himself already, so I will give the introduction. He is none other than Mr. Lover Lover. That is my favorite nickname for him. And though at one time it may, I know he is, but I'm gonna spin it. Okay, let me spin it a little bit. So though at one time it may have had a certain meaning, I think now when I think of Mr. Lover, it is definitely about his heart. Gregory has a huge heart. He always has this gigantic smile plastered across his face. So for me, though he's been known to be a lover, he is a man who's full of love. And that's what I really take from that. So don't take it the wrong way. I know you're trying to change the nickname on us all, but you'll always be Mr. Lover Lover to me. Gregory is an inspiring guy. He has taken some tremendous risks in the last couple of years in seeking out his birth parents and going literally, to the ends of the earth to find them. And not only did he find his mother, but he found his father. He just met his paternal grandmother on his father's side. And he sends these pictures, and like I see that he's touched so many people because he's just been committed to filling the pieces of this puzzle that has made him who he is today, which is really unbelievable. Very, very inspiring. And the commitment that takes is definitely something that needs to be acknowledged. He decided he had enough of corporate America, and he left a job that most people would probably die for and kill for. And he left that job, decided he was going to be an entrepreneur, and here he is a year later with an up and coming real estate company that's making deals. He is committed to radio a year ago, and he is not only on one show, he is on two shows, and he travels between Philly and New York to be in both. Yeah, I know. Greg he's always doing something. Yes. Yeah, and yep. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow, you get hugs and
he's really done
now,
a lot in the last year. So
thank you.
Gregory is someone who certainly goes after what he wants, and now he is enrolled in a life coaching program, a professional coaching program. So, very inspiring dude.
That's
thank you.
Pretty amazing. You guys are amazing, and dude. The one thing I get the most from all of you is how much you care about each other, and I think that's so incredible. And so let's talk about the dudes of disruption. Let's talk about what it is. While I'm going to get a phone cable so the phone doesn't die. I know, huh? What flash? Nick, you tell me what is the purpose and mission of the dudes of disruption? Mm-hmm. That's the little legacy, right? So from complacency to legacy is what you guys are all about. How do you like that? I'm a wordsmith. So yeah, I think I get it. Complacency to legacy. I think I get it. I really do. It took me a while, and I had to ask a few times to get a good explanation of what disruption, how that was being used. It's unique in a way. I don't feel like a lot of people are using that term, the terminology, or maybe it's just something like New York or something. I don't know. But it's kind of like transformation, positivity, and these words that authenticity, and what's the other one, transparency, these words that we didn't use all the time, but they mean so much now. And it's all about being human, being in engaged, really making a mark, making a difference, making it, because like I think our lives are really important. Everybody's life is really important, and when we start feeling like a number, or when we start feeling like anything we do isn't going to matter, then that's when we have a problem. So I think it's really great. So how does, when you meet somebody, or how do you introduce someone to what you guys do? Like how is it that somebody would find you and be a dude? Does that make sense? Besides listening to the show, I mean, how, no, we already did that. But how when somebody wants to join you, follow you, be in your group, what do they do? Walk me through it. A newbie, someone shows up, you don't recognize that
group, you
name,
mean?
they call in. Either the men's group or the show. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. So, Tommy, tell me about your goal this year for the dudes to reach 1 million people. And how are you going to do that?
Yes. So, it's interesting. I think for a time we were just happy doing what we were doing. We started a year ago and we were going into the studio and recording, and then, or doing a live show, and then we got it into a podcast, and we started to see that obviously there's a reach that you can get by having recordings. So we got serious about the podcast about a year ago, but I think we weren't clear about what our goal was, and we sat down to sort of revisit a few weeks ago about what our intentions were for this year. And we had come up with some numbers, and the number changed a few times, and we landed on wanting to reach 1 million people. And by doing that, through various sources. So whether it's live recording, whether it is, live broadcast, whether it is podcast, whether it's live streaming, we want to touch 1 million people or have 1 million people interact with us in our content over the course of the year. So,
now,
as
do
soon as we
you
put that out in
blog,
the
or
universe,
do you, go ahead.
What's that?
I was going to say, do you blog, or do you update a website with your writing, or is it really just connecting with you via the show? And
that's our primary vehicle right now. Yeah, is the live show and the podcast. We're very active on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, but the primary points of interaction are those two vehicles. I think that what will come out this year will probably be other types of content. Setting up a proper website with a blog where we can just repurpose what we're doing on air, or transcribing our shows into blog posts. Those
look
types
at your
of
prop
things.
there. You got your big black cat. So, I want to have you back when you hit that million mark. I think that would be really fun, and
million would be good.
And I know you'll do it. So, Gregory, tell me about the radio show. Tell me what it's like to have the three of you. What is it? Is it weekly? And when is it? And what's it called? And how would I be able to listen to it? I mean, I know, but I want you to tell everybody.
Yes. So just a quick backstory to it is that I think myself, along with Nick and Tommy, for years have dreamed of being on the radio. And
on the radio.
I've had that dream since I was probably like 10 years old. I used to go to bed at night. Instead of like watching TV, trying to sneak to watch TV, I would have like the radio next to my bed and listening to it like to fall asleep at night, thinking about, oh, I want to be on the radio one day. And luckily, I got to know Nick and Tommy, and Nick and I talked about, we had a similar interest, and we chose to like, let's do it together. And then of course, as you heard, Tommy joined in. And so I think, if I think back to a year ago, how does it feel to be on the radio, and it still feels this way now, is I think I told Nick and Tommy this once. I felt like the little kid, like who's playing in the sandbox and just is like happy, right? It's just, you're just happy. So the cool thing for me is like I get to play on the radio every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, out of the studios of WHCR 90.3 FM in New York City with Nick and Tommy, and we get to broadcast a show we call Dudes of Disruption with the tagline Disrupting Your Automatic, and no topic is off limits because there's not a topic out there that either myself, Nick, Tommy, or someone listening probably has something that's not working surrounding that topic, and maybe things could be different. And so it's one of the, I like to call a radio station my happy place. And so I'm happy that I get to do it with these two on Sundays. And then, I have some, another thing I do on Saturday. So I love being on the radio, and I love being on it with these two dudes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So now I know you have a topic every week and you discuss that. Now, Nick, you usually have some type of quote or a kind of a spiritual aspect that you bring up. Can you tell me about that? Oh, okay. Okay. And you choose the quote? Ooh, the same. Okay. Yeah. What was it for your politics show you just had? What was the title of that song? Because it glitched a little when you said it. Don't get fooled again. Okay, we all know that. Okay, awesome. Wow, that's years ago, I had a teen night that I headed up that was called Hot Topic. That was like way before there was any, I don't know. There's like a I don't know if they have it out there, but there's a retail store called Hot Topic now. But
yep, they have it out here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyhow, but that back then it was so cool, and it was with an X, like Hot Topics. But I would do a similar thing. I always had a song and a quote, and a little topic, and we would talk about it. And it was really, I love that format. I mean, it's great because you do a little research and you introduce a little thought process, and it really kind of gels. And it seems that's what I like about you guys. I think that you all really gel together, and your topics gel, and the people, when they call in to talk to you live, you're really helping them. It's do any of you have a memory of an experience where you helped someone, or someone called in and it changed you or changed your dynamic? Just or any little story that pops to mind of meeting somebody who called in your show?
I think we had done a blab one night of all places. How ironic. Where
it's gonna be a good story.
Gregory and Nick, I think, was out of town, so we decided to do a blab instead. We did not have a live show that week on the air. And do you know a guy named Fields, Devon?
I do, yeah.
Melissa?
I do.
Yes, yeah. He actually jumped
Devon
in,
Fields.
and yes, Devon. Yep, and he jumped into the seat, and he was feeling very disempowered around some business stuff. He was trying to start this multi-level marketing thing. And, Gregory and I immediately went into like coach mode. And,
it was coffee, right?
He had said, what's that?
It
was
coffee?
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had said a couple of things that were just, his language was indicating to me that he had a lot of, bad feelings around promoting it. He didn't feel like he was listened to, and people didn't take him seriously. So we just wound up coaching him on the spot, and like his demeanor changed like right before our eyes, like right here. So to be able to see him was like really, really powerful. Which now that I'm saying it, we need to be doing more of that, guys. Like we need to be here doing more of that stuff. And it was amazing. Like he got off, and then he came back in, and what we had coached him around, he had already like set up a blab for the next day and invited all these people. It was very powerful to see it happen like right before our eyes. And I think, Nick can speak to this, probably better than any of us, as he's been coaching for 20 some odd years. Doing it in person is unbelievable. The radio platform is great. But the in-person stuff is amazing. And that's why we created the men's group here in New York, so we could have this more tangible one-on-one type of experience.
That's good.
Yes.
Katie Pearl.
Katie Pearl 77.
He remembers the names. Yeah.
Yeah.
That really is. That's so cool. How about you, Gregory? Do you think of anything else?
No, I mean that's definitely one that comes to mind.
Favorite episode, maybe?
Favorite episode? Favorite episode. I'm a big sports fan, so we talked about a show called The Idea of Disrupting the Game, Sports Judgment and the Super Bowl. And being someone who's a big sports fan, it was cool to be able to, like we always say, we can talk about anything, and to actually talk about sports and disrupting some automatic related to that was a lot of fun. Because really what we experienced is that either personally or people we knew judged people who played sports, judged people who didn't play sports, and actually judged sports all together. And it was an awesome show for me to be able to talk about a subject I really love in a way that hopefully have people see sports in themselves and people who play them differently.
All right, I might have to take another look at sports. But you know, I like sports. I'm really actually a sports enthusiast. My sport is shopping. So, you know, and online shopping in particularly.
Full contact shopping?
Yeah. I could totally go in, you know, with the helmet and the pads and the whole thing and just charge whatever I have to charge.
and see, in our show, I get that. And our show would say, we're not even talking about shopping. We'd be talking about, do I judge you or not based on that's something that you really love to do.
You know, and that's it. Judgment.
Addiction.
Yeah.
And what are you avoid? And what are you avoiding by shopping so often? I mean, you know.
Ooh, you guys have nailed. Okay, so I think that the main problem in society today is judging, is how people are judging others. Of course, I spent a lot of time with teenagers and preteens, and that's what it's all about. Remember middle school? It's just like, what do they think of me and what they think of them? And no, you know, it's so intense. And it's like this huge thing. Like you guys are talking about disruption and complacency and awakening, and I'm talking to women mainly about, you know, feeling stuck and you know, becoming embracing their wisdom and their age and starting over and getting into the root of what they really wanted to do with their lives and making it happen, and it's never too late, that kind of stuff. And like, you know, because during that time where we're growing, we're so concerned with what people think about us, and we're in this world that judges. So that's, you know, I totally get where you're coming from, where you're saying, you know, it's not about the things that we're upset or worried about or that we're talking about. It's so much deeper, and it's about acceptance, right? So, you know, I think that what you guys are doing is totally amazing. And the way you're doing it and the way you work together is what make you total superstars. And I have you here on Tinseltown tonight to show the world how awesome you are and what total rock stars you are. And I want to thank you for making my life sparkle. So I'm looking at the time, and if that clock over there is right, then we're close to the end of our show. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, and go around again, no matter how long it takes, just, you know, final words. And think about this. Like, I know, like, I have chosen 3 words for 2016 that will help me to stay focused and make things happen. Usually I pick 1 word, but this year I have 3. And my words are to create, connect, and sparkle. So sparkle, you know, does sound a little bit like, you know, bling, right? Like I could put my little crown on and sparkle, but it's not that. It's the kind of sparkle that you put on, or I would, when my mom would tell me to clean the house. We're having guests over, and we want to really make it sparkle. It's like doing your best work. It's putting your best foot forward and do in everything I do. If I go get you a glass of water, I'm going to come back with the cleanest glass and the freshest water, and I want it to be great. I want your experience to be great, and I want everything I do to really shine. And so and the things that I'm doing are to create and to connect with people. So what kind of word will define you this year is what I'd like to know. And then any parting thoughts or questions you may have. Who wants to go first? Tommy?
What, one word or 3 words?
If you have
you get 3. You get at least 3. She has 3.
I'll 3 because I'm that good.
You get at least 3, Tommy.
At least 3 because you're really good. They're like, take as much time as you need, Tommy, so they could think of something while you're thinking too.
Yes, I go first so they can think. Great.
So
I'm going to say this year is going to be creative, determined, and fearless.
You know, I didn't mean to put you guys on the spot. To think of words like that, just like that, is really amazing. So tell us about why you chose fearless.
Because I think that fear, has caused me to operate at less than my best. And I don't even know what it is I'm afraid of, which is the funny part, right? So, not letting.
Well, you do, fear. But I mean, you do know what you're afraid of, but keep going.
Mm-hmm. Just not allowing that to be stoppable, allowing it to stop me from moving forward in the places that are important to me.
I know, huh? We should.
You're just always looking for an opportunity to put me on the hot seat.
Well, this could be a topic of another show that you do, and but that's pretty neat. And Nick, what about you? Do you have a focus for the year? You could just be your focus for the year. Badass. Is that the same thing, I guess? No, even worse. Not worse, but more powerful. Okay. Okay. So why did you say loving?
Because he wants my nickname.
Mr. Lover Lover. Because love makes the world go round.
This is true.
Meaning making. I like that. Definitely. I'm touched by hearing you say that. I'm actually feeling tears welling up, and I feel like that million people that you 3 are going to be connecting with this year are the luckiest million people in the world, because if they hear that message and to be fearless and to be loving and to be genuine and to be whatever the Gregory's about to tell us, it's just going to be so amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Really, I've been looking forward to this. Yeah, let's do it. Give me like 50,000. I'll be happy. Okay. So
I do have a word that likely could get us to 2 million.
Okay. What's your word, Gregory? What's the word?
My three words are dude. Are generator. Huh?
I'm looking for something around me that says dude that I can hold up. I was told to hold up props. Like that's a new thing in video, live video broadcasting is props. That's one. Okay. What's your word? Go ahead.
My three words are generator. Unreasonable. And self-expressed.
Okay, why did you self-expressed, unreasonable, and generators? Unreasonable, obviously. That's the one that I would want to dig into. Why would somebody want to be unreasonable?
Because, at least for me personally, I think when I was younger, I was my most unreasonable self. I have a thought, and I actually thought that those thoughts could turn into like reality. And I think as I've gotten older, I've taught myself to rein myself in, or try to look good in certain situations, or be practical about life. And so I'll use an example from the recent show we did on politics. Reasonable says it is the way it is, and there's not much I, Nick, Tommy, or you can do about it. That's reasonable. And it's reasonable to think that, I should at least go vote so I can feel like I'm doing something. But unreasonable would be that, you know what? I don't like the way things are going. So who do I call? What movement do I start? Who do I go attempt to make change and stuff? Or something's not working at my job. Do I actually set up a meeting with the CEO and let her know her or he know what's not working for me? Because to me, that's being unreasonable. I've been reasonable for too many years of my life, and actually I think that it, in a way, takes life out of me by being reasonable.
So you're going to be an audacious, what was I going to say? An audacious man of action.
You know that saying, right? Everything's impossible until it happens.
Right. Make it happen. You guys are the bomb. I mean, just incredible. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for me? Oh, he's got a prop. Yeah. Yes.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Melissa, you mentioned some of the work you do with women, and we actually saw a recent article in Sports Illustrated about there's this thing about plus size models, and then they also, I think Sports Illustrated has a woman who's 50-something years old that they're featuring.
Model? No, I have done some modeling. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What? My question is, when you've had some of those conversations with women, or even personally, just what's your reaction? Should we even be having to have a cover with a woman who is a plus size? Like, is like what's your reaction to it? Is it needed? Not needed? Should there even be a Sports Illustrated to begin with? Like, what emotions get conjured up when I mention that, hey, I just saw this article about some plus size woman and also a 57-year-old woman being in a news article, and it's like news.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so you guys have another hour or so? No, I'm just kidding. You know what? A couple things run through my mind. My first impression, the very first thing I thought was, in the perfect world, it would never make news because people are people and anybody should be able to do anything, right? And then some little bird, maybe it was my dad or my brother speaking to me about Sports Illustrated. You know, it's like an institution, and it's always been a certain way, and swimsuit issue, it's like a huge thing, and there's something for everybody. There's people for everything. And you know, I know there are definitely magazines that highlight the heavy, beautiful, big, beautiful people, you know, and nobody's asking those magazines to have skinny little, Twinkies on them. So like, it's just kind of, sometimes I feel like there's a place for everything. Should there even be a Sports Illustrated? Do you read it? Do you like it? You're a sports enthusiast. Is it about sports anymore? I don't even know. I don't really even care. But I think that people are going to try to change things. Maybe they're being disruptive. Maybe they're just trying to make a mark. So, I'd probably encourage, if the models, if that's what they want to do, and it isn't that they're being talked into doing some marketing strategist idea of what should happen, but if that's what they want to do and that was what they aspired to do, it shouldn't matter what size they are, or how old they are. If it doesn't sell magazines, they're not going to do it again. So we'll see what happens. I just hate when news isn't really news. Case in point, like, I live in Porter Ranch. I don't know if you've heard about it over there in New York, but it's made some national news because I live less than a mile away from the Southern California Gas Company's storage facility in Aliso Canyon, which had a gas leak where methane gas leaked for 4 months before they were able to close off this 8,500 foot deep well where the gas is stored. So we couldn't open our windows because we would smell that rotten egg smell for 4 months. They literally had to help people who couldn't stand the smell or who got sick from it. They had to have them relocate and pay for 900 families to relocate. Now, that is a lot of people, but that's less than 10% of all the people who live in the area. There's literally 10,000 homes in the neighborhood. So, the news made it sound like it was a toxic, unhealthy, odorant, that people were forced to move. And I mean, it was just crazy. And the lawsuits are crazy. The people are crazy. People are always asking me how we're doing. I'm like, we're fine. And the other 90% of the people here are fine. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And when they closed off the well, I was like, yes, all right, finally the truth will come out. And the news reports of it were so just mangled, no truth at all in their reporting. I was so disappointed. I sent tweets. I did what you did. I was unreasonable. I'm always about positivity and niceness and stuff, went on and tweeted the newscasters publicly saying how disappointed I was in that. Like, it wouldn't matter. But anyway, it mattered to me. So, like, I just really hate when truth is being twisted. So, yeah, I would just say it's not news.
Cool. Got it.
I don't know.
We'll all be a little more unreasonable.
Unreasonable. Like what? I don't know. Whatever. Women are weird. We're never happy.
Oh boy, I'm gonna hold myself back.
So let's do a little self-promotion, okay? I wrote a book. It actually came out 3 years ago, and I'm going to get another book published this year in October. And my first book is This is the Sound of My Soul. So if you want to find out what my soul sounds like, you can go and read this, and it will unpack for you in short little vignettes of what my life was like at the time. And my next book is going to be called what's my book going to be called? More Than a Feeling. It's like Boston song, More Than a Feeling. And so kind of go from the Spandau Ballet all the way back to my Boston days. And
nice.
So I want everybody to read my book. Tommy has a book, Messages in the Music, which I've read, and it's pretty awesome. Do you have one to hold up? A little prop? I could grab my copy. see it from here. But
I have a giant version of it.
Oh yeah, a giant version of Messages in the Music.
Messages in the Music, yes.
Excellent.
Available on Amazon.
On Amazon. My book is sold. They took it down, but you could still get the Kindle version.
Of yours? Good.
Yeah.
Yep. So Messages in the Music. Starting the second version of that this year, and Due to Disruption going for 1 million. So check us out on iTunes and Podomatic. We are on Facebook, Due to Disruption, and Twitter at DoD Talk Radio. And we were also on the Stitcher app for podcasts, which I got to get that link to the dudes. We got to start sharing that one also. And every Sunday live.
And that's your thing right now. And Gregory and Nick, do you have anything else that we can connect to you for? Does that make sense? I guess I'm getting tired. Would you like to tell me about anything else that you want to promote? The dudes. I know. Okay, so go to MsMeliz.com. Yes, they have.
Or follow us on Twitter, DoD Talk Radio.
All right. And I know these guys are tired. It's late over there, and it's just, Tuesday. God. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So, you know what? Before we do go, we got to do a little dance.
We have to do a dance?
Got to dance. Thank you so much, Dudes of Disruption, for being on Tinseltown tonight with Ms. Meliz. That's me. Thank you, Tommy, Gregory, and Nick. And thanks, everybody, for coming and checking out and bearing with us on Blab tonight. And we'll see you next Tuesday night. I have Jenny Q. Jennifer Quinn is my guest. And that's it. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, Melissa. Dude.
Dude.
Dude.